This is Erin from CFRE Radio, and I'm here with Turquoise Sun.
What's going on?
Hey guys.
So to start off, I want to ask, like, how has your time been in Canada so far?
It's been amazing. I think I can talk for everybody here and say it's like an awesome place to be at and a really cool place to tour and play music. Like we played yesterday in Ottawa, and it was like really amazing how people responded though. Like it was so joyful, like so cool when they came out like after the concert was done and was like, "Hey man, that was so amazing. I love what you did there." I spent hours at home listening to it, like discovered it on Spotify. Freddie has said as well. A guy came in and were like amazed by it though. So it's been really cool so far. Like it's definitely.
Have you seen any differences from Denmark and Canada for like the music scene and venues?
Yeah. People buy merch here, and we should have known more about this. We sold all our vinyls yesterday, and we thought like, this is going to be enough for the whole tour, and we sold them all yesterday. So now we don't have any vinyls to sell, and I mean we've never sold that many vinyls in one night. So people like are engaged, and people are really listening and very responsive, and just Canadians are really nice. So we're gonna bring more vinyls next time, we promise.
Yeah, well, there's also been like a lot of differences in the professional aspects, you know, like a lot of the sound technicians. In my experience, it's been actually, the welcome has been much better here. But there's this thing with the Canadians, musicians and technicians constantly being late. like we get you have this thing when you play a show, right? The band has a get in. Yeah, get in time. What the time you have to be at the venue, and that's like they put out a certain time, but it doesn't really matter when you show up for some, I don't know.
Yesterday we came to the venue and we thought we were like checked and doing it on time. We were like, we can be late, so we came like 20 minutes later than we should, and we were there 6 hours before our sound check. It turned out. I think it was our mistake, but this is kind of, you know.
Yeah, well, it's pretty funny. It's just weird. Right?
And you guys were live on air for the first time yesterday on CTV. How was that? Like, were you guys nervous at all before? Like, did that go away afterwards?
I think Simon has an
Well, I guess the rest of us were on TV like every week. It wasn't that weird, but but Nils, he was like shitting his pants like before the show. Like usually he's like, as you can see, he's really outgoing and like some kind of charming guy. Like you couldn't talk to him like an hour before. He was so bummed. But when it happened, like it's happening and it's over so quick. But I think for all of us, like it was a weird experience because, you know, like it's one thing doing something and it comes out later. It's another thing doing something and you know, like this moment there's like possibly a million people watching this right now, which was like kind of terrifying to me at least. But it was fun. Like it was great fun, yeah.
So your album Synesthesia came out this year. Was there like any tracks that were your favorite on the album and like reasons why?
I think everybody have one of their own, but I don't know. I really love Feathers. Like I think it have like a really cool vibe that, I don't know, really talks to me in a certain way. I love to play live as well. It's definitely one of my more like preferred song to play live, at least because it have like a really good progression as well. I don't know if you actually knew that Feathers was one of the most like enjoyed by me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like
I think I knew. Some of the songs are much older than some of the other songs. That's a very cool thing. But I think for the same reason, some of them have been a favorite earlier. You know, like Easy Tree has been my favorite at one point. Sleeping has been my favorite at one point. But they're a lot, older. These songs. So I mean, now I agree with Casper. I think Feathers is one of my favorites also to play.
Well.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty new in the band, so I mean, I didn't write any of the songs. Yeah. So, but if I had to pick a favorite song, it's pretty hard. But I feel like Luminosity was the one that really got me going in the beginning. So yeah, you?
This is fun for us to hear as well.
Yeah, they're all pretty decent.
Come on, dude.
Thank you.
Okay, mic drop.
Sometimes we can think of ideas for stuff in like the weirdest places. Like you might come up with the best idea in the shower. What was like the weirdest place you came up for a song or like some lyrics and stuff like that?
Well, I don't know, because it's not a song that's actually on the album. It's a really, really old song, but I know that Frederick got the inspiration for one of our old songs at a rave in the middle of the woods. Yeah, and he did what you do at rave parties, and then when he came home, like, the way you made me believe it is like you had all these feelings and emotions from that experience that you had to get out of your body. And it's just like, that to me may be the funnest place any of our song has been written, but I don't know if any other.
And psychedelic rock has evolved a lot through the years, from like the Beatles to King Gizzard and Tame Impala. Was there any like specific artists that inspired you a lot for the album?
I mean, like the 60s is the root of, I think, of the idea. And Tame Impala definitely has influenced a lot of bands all over the world, and including ourselves has been like some kind of a modern way of building onto it. But there's so many influences that are outside of the psychedelic. I think like the expression we work with is psychedelic, but the inspirations come from a lot of other things than this. As Simon says, one of the main ideas in the beginning was taking techno and rave music and then just kind of taking that energy and then progressive push and then transferring it into a rock ensemble, because I figured at that time at least I was a lot more turned on by, you know, real drums and by guitars, and I'm still love the guitars obviously. So I just wanted to use all the sounds that I loved, and then, you know, you try to form the same kind of energy. So, you know, rave music, Goa trance was like very psychedelic. I was like, this like, how can I take this and not make it so fucking but make it, how can we make it like more like so exactly. But Frank Ocean has been a big inspiration too for the album. And what else has there been? A bunch of hip hop songs and hip hop artists. Like, for example, like a funny thing is Grandmaster Flash is in the message is actually that was the start element of saying, okay, we're gonna make Luminosity. I had like one local band from Aarhus that inspired me. They had a super cool guitar riff. I was like, I'm taking that, and I just wanted to have this to Moon Loves Honey, and then I was like, okay, can we just kind of make something? So we found this like meow 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 that Simon plays on the lead over. So I mean, there's so many small elements that are plucked from certain things where you're like, oh, I love that. Can we just put that in? But generally, after all that, we just push it through a food processor and it goes out psychedelic. So we just like glue it together with some acid. Yeah, that's how we do it.
I got an answer as well. Some of the things is like we're 6 people, and usually when we make songs, it's a co-working in progress basically. But it also means that like my music taste and what I listen to and inspires me in my work with Turquoise Sun as well. So we have like different influences, like at home, at our own hearts, and a musician style as well. For example, Simon is more like hip hop kind of guy, and I don't know. Fred and me have listened to the same thing, but I also like more heavy probably at times as well as more jazzy. So it's hard to say specifically what made you inspire like this certain riff or this certain style. So it's probably in the bigger picture where you could talk about it, as Freddie said. Definitely.
Is there anything funny that you have noticed in the album that you like, oh, I hear you've listened to this. I'm turning the interview around now.
What's your name?
I haven't noticed anything necessarily. Like, I do listen to music with very weird sound effects, like maybe pulled from a video game or something. So at this point, it doesn't really like faze me if it's weird in the music. So I haven't really noticed anything. But the music is very unique, like in a very good way. Yeah. And there is a lot of members in the band, like you said.
Yeah.
What if there's conflicts? How do you get around that?
Well, when you're 6 people writing music together, there are going to be conflict, and if there's not conflict, it's because you're not like actually putting your soul and heart into it, and you have to learn from each conflict. And like a conflict isn't necessarily a bad thing, because you can take something away from it and learn how to like progress and how to become better at writing music. But I think we try to, when we write new songs, we, instead of writing it in one big group, we split up and like work together in small teams, like with different members every time, because it's easier to actually like get further with the tune that way. So, but of course there are gonna be conflicts, and there should be, otherwise you're not into it. Yeah.
Yeah, because the thing about musicians is, and writing music, is that the thing you're doing is basically you're manifesting feelings. And when you have 6 adult men in the same room trying to express themselves emotionally, it's gonna turn out very beautiful and sometimes very painful. But that's just part of it, you know. That's why we do it, because it's so fucking beautiful.
And conflict is good. I mean, that's usually when people give a fuck. If you don't give a fuck, that there's no conflict. Oh, it is. We'll just do your thing. So it's typically when there's a bit of something grinding. It's because you maybe have to think about the idea that you're proposing, or stop up and listen a little more to the idea that's being proposed. And sometimes it just takes, a little bit of time to let go of your idea, or say, hey, it's okay to park it, let's just kind of work on this. We had a really cool session just the other day where we at the Airbnb we agreed that, okay, we're gonna write a track tonight, we're gonna write a hit tonight. That was like that's what we agreed. So we went home and we plugged everything in. And we started with one thing, and that was all right, and there was nothing wrong with that. And then we moved into another thing. Things kind of just organically moved, and there was no conflict. It can also happen without conflict. And we made something really cool, and we're going to record it soon, and it's going to be cool.
And then for our final question, are you guys excited for Toronto tonight?
Yeah. We are. That's for sure. It's going to be amazing, I think. Yeah.
All right, this is CFRE Radio, and we're signing off with Turquoise Sun.
We could do this every day, though.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.